Did someone order a fresh, hot and ready best team with extra Torterra? If you did, then I suppose I'm at the right place. Today, we've got the best team for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Torterra Edition, the direct follow-up to the ever-so-beloved Empoleon Edition, and the triple platinum best team for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. My relationship with Torterra has been a rocky one for a very long time, but as of late, I've come around to the giant walking slab of earth, and I've grown to appreciate it a bit more. This team features a lot of Pokemon from the previous two teams, as they just fit right back in rather well alongside Torterra. But there are still some big moveset changes, and even a few surprise team members as well. Let's waste no more time and just get into this best team for BDSP Torterra Edition. We'll get kicked off with the starter Pokemon. You already know how this works. Turtwig is your starter here. It goes to level 18 before it becomes Grottle, and then an earlier evolution into Torterra at level 32. It's a pretty simple evolution, and the longer wait for Grottle is made up for with the quicker Torterra appearance. Torterra's got 109 attack and 105 defense, making it a clear physical Pokemon, so it completes the trifecta with the Sinnoh starters. Infernape is mixed, Empoleon is special, and now we've got the physical point of our equation. Torterra's typing leaves it super weak to ice moves in the same way as Garchomp, with a few other weaknesses sprinkled in. It's got a few solid resistances though, which you love to see. I don't have anything else to bring up about it, so let's get into those moves. Torterra is rocking out with Earthquake, Woodhammer, Leech Seed, and Curse. Leading off with Earthquake, guess what? We don't have to use the TM you find to teach it. No, instead, Torterra learns EQ as soon as it evolves. It is unfortunate that there are quite literally no ground-type moves for Grottle or Turtwig to use prior to Earthquake, so the first few gyms will go without them. It's not a huge deal though, trust me. The next move up is Woodhammer, learned by the way of the Heart skill. You'll need to tutor it back on the Torterra and Pastoria. But rest assured that, unlike the ground stab, there is plenty of grass for you to use prior. The next two moves are for utility. The first being Leech Seed, which is learned at level 32, and will give you the ability to drain some health from a Pokemon with each turn, while also dealing a little bit of damage. Great for stupid walls, or just general Pokemon you're not super prepared for. Then there is Curse, which serves as a setup move for promoting defense and attack stat growth while taking away from an already poor speed stat. That move is learned pretty early on at level 17. So with these moves, Torterra will be able to do well against Rourke's entire team, Crasherwick's Quagsire and Floatzel, Fantina's Gengar, Byron's Steelix and Bastiodon, Volcaner's entire team except for Ambipom, Saturn's Toxicroak, Mars and Jupiter's Skuntank, Barry's Infernape and Floatzel, Aaron's Drapion, Bertha's entire team, Flint's Steelix, Infernape and Rapidash, and finally Cynthia's Gastrodon, Milotic, and Lucario. What Torterra brings into battle is honestly one of the best dual typings available when it comes to offering coverage. A ton of the annoying water types are handled, and electric types can't even touch this turtle. I'm glad I can fairly give Torterra the credit it's due now. It really is a solid Pokemon. We'll march right on with the familiar representation of the water typing, the always powerful Gyarados. It's just a Pokemon you can get super early at the start of your journey, as the Old Rod is obtainable just outside of Jubilife. So that still sells it well. You know, just in case you weren't aware, you can pretty much pull out the Old Rod anywhere there is a body of water, and boom, Magikarp is here. It'll get to level 20 and evolve into Gyarados, or rather the experience share being on all the time will get it to level 20. Since you're not really going to be using this thing until it evolves, trust me. Gyarados is a classic example of strong physical power, in a typing without much representation like that in the Pokedex. I have explained in the past why Floatzel and Azumarill don't make the cut for me here, so I won't bore you with any of that. All I can say is that at least Gyarados offers some better defenses than its contemporaries outside of that massive electric weakness, while still having good attack and decent speed. I know that probably doesn't sell everyone on this atrocious beast as the best water option for the team, but you know what? It's all good. Gyarados can still be very successful on this team, just as my original best team showed. So let's hop into the moveset, which is a touch different from the past set we ran. So this Gyarados moveset is Waterfall, Earthquake, Crunch, and Dragon Dance. This one is pretty quick, with Waterfall learned at level 21, Earthquake via a TM you get in the Wayward Cave, and then Crunch at level 24. There's a decent amount of coverage among those moves, especially with the water typing. It's a good one to get usage out of. As for Earthquake, you want that for electric types, since I realized it wasn't super necessary to run Ice Fang this time with the team's composition. I'm honestly glad I made this change. the set closes out with Dragon Dance learned at level 36, and bringing an opportunity to set up speed and attack, which can make Gyarados damn good against anything. As I said last time, it'd be nice to have a flying type move on the set, but that's just not possible if you really want something good and not sort of half-assed like Hurricane, since Gyarados isn't good specially. Oh well. Now, using these moves, Gyarados is able to intimidate Fantina's entire team, Byron's entire team, Volcaner's Raichu and Luxray, Saturn's Kadabra and Bronzor, Jupiter and Mars' Skuntank and Bronzor, Barry's Infernape, Aaron's Drapion, Bertha's Hippowdon, Golem and Sudowoodo, Flint's entire team except for Lopunny, Lucian's entire team except for Medicham, and finally, Cynthia's Lucario. The change going from using Ice Fang to Earthquake is definitely a big one, as there aren't as many Pokemon it handles on the trade-off in important battles. But I feel it's well worth being able to take down Gyarados' most powerful opposition, as opposed to just having some sort of ice coverage that we'll be getting later on in the team. Alright, we're here with the final team member of the first half, and it's got the luxury of having been on all 3 best teams we've done for BDSP thus far. It's my main man, Snorlax. And one would say the only reason it's been here all 3 times is because it fell asleep and refuses to move. Well, the truth is, it's actually just so good that I wanted to include it once again. Trust me, ignore the fact that it's out cold and is immovable, that's just a coincidence. So after you've obtained the ability to use Defog, which comes with defeating Crasher Wake, you'll start to see some new Pokemon appearing in a few choice caves of the underground, including Munchlax. Previously, one of the hardest Pokemon in Sinnoh to get. Munchlax is a Pokemon that will evolve with some friendship, giving you Snorlax as soon as you've proven your ability to love this fat boy. Snorlax is a specially defensive wall with some solid physical attack, making it a great partner with Gyarados, which is in the same boat stats-wise. It's nice to have some back-to-back Gen 1 power again, so let's highlight some moves. The third moveset of the day is going to be Body Slam, Brick Break, High Horsepower, and Heavy Slam. Snorlax gets great stab damage out of Body Slam, the first move on this set. It's learned at level 28, and if you like pancakes, you're going to love this move. Next up is Brick Break. The TM for that is found very early on in the Oreburgh Gate. Then we have High Horsepower, which I've gone with over Earthquake this time, so Gyarados could use it instead. It's almost as strong as Earthquake, and it learns it via level up at 40, which is probably when you'd be teaching it that Earthquake TM anyway. Finally, we have Heavy Slam, which is sure to be a good move to pull out considering this fat boy is well over 1,000 pounds in weight. Ice types, rock types, fairy types, are all getting squashed. So our level below is using its moveset to do well against Byron's Steelix and Bastiodon, Candace's entire team except for Medicham, Volcaner's Raichu, Luxray and Ambipom, Saturn's Toxicroak but watch out, Jupiter and Mars' Purugly and Skuntank, Cyrus's Weavile, Barry's Infernape and Snorlax, Aaron's Drapion, Bertha's Golem and Sudowoodo, Flint's entire team except for Drifblim, Lucian's Mr. Mime, and finally, Cynthia's Lucario. But against those fighting types, I'd be careful. That's it. As usual, shout out to Snorlax for being one of the best coverage guys on this entire team. Good looking out, big man. Okay, our next returning member to the team will be the much appreciated fire type, Houndoom. As I've already mentioned plenty of times already since these games came out, Houndoom serves a role as really the other good fire type option besides Infernape. I figured since we didn't have much dark or fire representation thus far on the team, Houndoom was definitely the one to go with. So where do you find this hellhound? You've got to search the Grand Underground early on into your journey. And honestly, Houndoom can be found there pretty quickly. It's a rare encounter, but you need not worry guys, trust me. Houndoom's got that almighty 110 base special attack at its disposal, and a pretty solid 95 speed, coming together to make a pretty solid special attacker. So a much desired fire type makes its appearance on the team, but what will it be doing in battle? We're going with Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, and Nasty Plot on Houndoom today. So we start with Flamethrower, which is purchasable from the Veilstone department store and also learned at level 50. Just buy the TM. Trust me, just do it. Next up, we have Dark Pulse, which you'll either wait until Victory Road to find a TM for, or you can find someone to sell it to you in the underground. I would go with finding it in the underground. But if you end up needing to just wait until the static one in Victory Road, just run with Snarl until then. It's procured on Route 204. Next up is Sludge Bomb, which is a TM you can find in the Galactic Warehouse or from a seller in the Grand Underground. I'll just be writing this from the perspective again of getting it from the Galactic Warehouse. Finally, Nasty Plot, closes out this set, and that's going to be hard scaled back on as well. Make that special attack high. So Houndoom will dominate Gardenia's entire team, Fantina's entire team, Byron's Steelix and Bronzor, Canis's entire team except for Medicham, Saturn's Kadabra and Bronzor, Jupiter and Mars's Bronzor and Golbat, Cyrus's Weavile, Barry's Heracross and Roserade, Aaron's entire team except for Drapion, Flint's Drifblim and Steelix, Lucian's entire team except for Medicham, and finally Cynthia's Roserade and Lucario. It's nice to have Houndoom here to safely take on Psychic types, and offer a Poison type move to help cover Fairies because we actually haven't had that yet. This is arguably a better moveset than the last time it appeared on a team, even without the coverage for Water types honestly. So I mentioned needing to help cover Fairy types just a moment ago, but how about having a Fairy type? Well, here one is. It's Clefable. Now, on the Empoleon team, I had gone with Gardevoir, specifically mentioning how its power outweighed the coverage Clefable offered because of the composition of the team. Now, that being said, I'll make this clear as I have in my past videos on this team. Clefable will probably be the hardest, most annoying Pokemon to actually get your hands on. Cleffa is available on the first accessible floor of Mount Coronet, and of course you'll need to level it up with some high friendship in order to get Clefairy. Now, the issue here is finding a Moonstone. It isn't available anywhere to just pick up, so you either need to find one in the underground mining, which could take a long while, or you can find a Cleffa holding one. I'd still suggest getting a Pokemon with Thief and just trying the Steel one if the initial Cleffa you catch isn't holding one already. It'll save you time. So yeah, go ahead and evolve into Clefable as soon as you want, and you've got a pretty good Fairy type with more coverage than it knows what to do with. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Magikarp either. That's always really important to bring up when talking about Clefable. You might like Gardevoir more on this spot potentially, but don't worry. The next Pokemon after Clefable is a big part of why I left Guardy off. So let's waste no more time and get into the moveset. Clefable was bringing Moonblast, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Shadow Ball. It's a cavalcade of coverage here with tons of other moves I could have gone with too. Thankfully, most other things were already taken care of by the rest of the team. So with Moonblast, you'll be hard scaling that back in Pastoria. As for the next two moves, you can buy them both at the Veilstone Department Store. Once more, I swear this video is not sponsored by the Veilstone Department Store. Finally, we have got the move Shadow Ball, learned via a TM found on Route 210. Look out, Ghost types, Clefable has got the cause for your destruction. So, this coverage machine is going to do well against Maylene's Machoke and Metatype, Crash Awake's Gyarados and Floatzel, Fantina's entire team, Byron's Bronzor, Canis's Sneasel, Volkner's Octillery, Saturn's entire team, Jupiter and Mars's Golbat and Bronzor, Cyrus's entire team, Barry's Floatzel, Staraptor and Heracross, Aaron's entire team except for Dustox and Drapion, Bertha's Golem and Hippowdon, Flint's Drifblim, Lucian's entire team except for Drafarig, and finally Cynthia's Roserade, Spiritomb, Milotic, and Garchomp. So yeah, Clefable and that coverage. It does a ton. It switches out Psychic from its last appearance, with Shadow Ball this time, and still maintains a great amount of its dominance, even more so in other departments like the battle with Lucian. I'm still a big believer in Clefable, but again, you Gardevoir stans, I've got a compromise for you. The compromise comes in the form of Guardy's evolutionary partner, the Sinnoh original, Gallade. We were in need of a fighting type of some kind, and I figured we could check two boxes by going Psychic fighting here. Gallade is the offensive option to Guardy's special prowess, and I figured it worked out a little more conveniently with its stab moves, as well as for the sake of coverage we hadn't hit on yet with the team. Gallade is sort of like how Roserade was needing a particular stone to evolve, this time the Dawnstone. You can find a male Ralts early on in the underground and evolve it into Kirlia at level 20, and from there, you need to use a Dawnstone for the evolution. You'll either need to use Surf and Mount Coronet to find the stone, or you can just use the Pachirisu pickup method, which I definitely suggest in this case. So, you've got the 125 base attack Gallade at your disposal, and you're ready to beat some Pokemon down. What moves will you use? The moveset on Gallade is looking like Psycho Cut, Drain Punch, Aerial Ace, and Rock Slide. So, Psycho Cut leads off and is learned via level up at level 42. There are of course plenty of psychic options you can run on Gallade until then, perhaps not all physical, but still not bad from an in-game perspective. The next move is Drain Punch, which you'll get the TM for when you defeat Maylene in battle. It's a really nice stab move that heals too. Who doesn't like that? I wish Infernape would get it though. Next up is Aerial Ace. You can either move relearn that, or just get the TM on Route 213. Either or is fine, and basically at the same time. Finally, we have Rock Slide, a TM either gotten from sniffing around Mount Coronet while heading to the Spear Pillar, or by finding the TM somewhere in the underground, whether it be from a cellar or in the big central cave of the region. Gallade is going to use these moves to duel against Gardenia's Rose Raid, Maylene's entire team, Crash Awakes Gyarados if you slap Rock Tomb on Gallade, Fantina's Drifblim with that Rock Tomb, as well as her Gengar, but definitely be careful, Byron's Steelix and Bastiodon, Candace's entire team, Volkner's Ambipom, Mars and Jupiter's Golbat and Purugly, Saturn's Toxicroak, Cyrus's entire team, just be careful, Barry's Staraptor, Heracross, Roserade, Snorlax, and Infernape, Aaron's Dustox, Beautifly, Vespiquen, and Heracross, Bertha's Sudowoodo and Golem, Blunt's entire team, Lucian's Metacham, and finally, Cynthia's Roserade and Lucario. So, for the fan of Gardevoir, I have this to say to you. Come on! You can't deny that Gallade's pretty good, and is certainly more than worthy of making an appearance here today. Well, that's the last best team for the alternate starters. I really hope you all enjoyed this one, as I feel it turned out pretty great. Sure, there may have been only 2 new Pokemon on this team, but I think that's really just a testament to how good just a handful of Pokemon really are in this version of Sinnoh. Also, just because this is the last alternate starter best team, doesn't mean the hype stops here. We've got some more lined up for you all, like the No Restrictions team, and running adjacent to this series, of course, is the Worst team, so stay tuned for those. Hey guys, thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. It's exciting times for the Pokemon franchise, and I look forward to the coming months where it just keeps getting better. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team, and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all of this without them. If you guys are wanting some more bite-sized Mystic Umbreon content, please check out my TikTok, where I upload daily, as well as the Mystic Umbreon Shorts channel. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I think it's time to wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.